Welcome back to the shed for the last time. The shed's looking very empty because I'm here to say goodbye to the shed. I didn't think a little under a year ago when all this work happened and everyone put their blood, sweat and tears into it, that I'd be here now saying goodbye. But times change and we have to move on. So I didn't get to do a workshop tour of this shed. I'll try and remember where everything was. The shed was, we lined insulated the roof. You can hear the thunder outside. It's nice and dry in here. So I'll stop this and I'll try and do a tour. All right, so the shed's 2/3 lined. Basically it was segregated off into bays. You can see where the beams are, where the bays are. The reason for that was that this first third was going to be for fiberglassing, so I leave the leftover fence pickets for the new owner. Fiberglassing, painting and general messiness, so this is what happened in this third of the shed, but still with an insulated ceiling and a nice big light. This only had fluoros because fiberglassing, I suppose painting is important, but fiberglassing isn't light critical. Over here, these two bays had LEDs. There is obviously insulation in the walls and air conditioner over there, lined with some OSB, because living in country South Australia, it's hard to find plywood. I had French cleats on the wall over here. There was a big whiteboard here. I want to take my 2x4 and my French cleat with me. There was a French cleat tool wall over here with chargers and things plugged in there. In front of the whiteboard was the miter saw station, and the air compressor lived down there because it was near the power points again. Over in the corner there was my electronics and sort of soldering table and a tool chest, a rolling tool chest over there. Around here was where the drill press was, nice and right in front of the air conditioner. Over there was some tall storage for small parts. Over up the top there was my offcuts and long timber rack. It was just a couple of brackets screwed into the studs. And down here was an extra bench, usually for working on things that are delicate because it was padded on the top. Down here, what was over here? I can't quite remember. I don't think there was a second bench. I think maybe one of my rolling workbenches went here, but I have to look at a photo because I actually haven't done any work in this shed short of taking things down for about 4 months. That's how long it's been since I've been here. And that's a story for another time. Over here was paints. There was another French cleat over there with safety gear. There was a cupboard on it with safety gear. I know there was a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket over there. I just can't think. I think it was another workbench in front of it, but I think I got rid of it and put one of the rolling workbenches there because I've got 2 rolling BMWs. And then we had the double lined doors that are maybe 2 years old. Lined the top of it just to see if it would make any difference with the afternoon sun coming in. But yeah, the power was all painstakingly brought in by a really good friend, and there were lots of friends and family that helped to re-roof it and put the beams in and get everything right. And less than, I don't know, 6 months after it was all finished, we were out of here. So I only hope that the new owner has or gets a lot of functionality out of it. A lot of things have been bought in here in various stages, and I was really happy with it. And the new workshop is bigger, but there are some drawbacks compared to this space. I really love this space a lot, and it's sad to go. But there you go. For the last time, this is my where it was workshop tour. See you again from the new one. And here we are. This is the new workshop. It is bigger than the old workshop by quite a lot, although I did do some calculation the other day, and I have slightly less wall space for 3 reasons. Number 1, I have a window, which I didn't have in the old workshop. Number 2, I have a second door, which I didn't have in the old workshop. And number 3, I've got 2 large double doors that you can hear rattling in the wind, 2 big sliding doors, which I also didn't have. But it's about 34 square meters, and I think the other place was about 24, so it's quite a lot bigger, a lot more space in the middle of the workshop, but also it is start from scratch. This is the only tool hanging that I've got at the moment, and there's no insulation, so it's hot in the summer, cold in the winter and nights like this, and it'll be a start from scratch. So it is an absolute pigsty right now because I've been putting things away, moving things in from the old house, trying to do odd jobs at the new house, and it's slightly embarrassing, but warts and all, I'll take you for a quick trip around, and well, if you've watched so far, I hope you enjoy the rest. The story of the workshop starts at the door. This is usually the door that I use from the house. I have a window behind this pile of stuff. This is a very old 70s built steel and timber frame shed, and if you look down here, yeah, it's got some tin worm to be addressed, but there's nothing that some structural steel and brackets into the concrete can't solve. Down here it's just stuff that I've moved and decided to keep from the old workshop, so I've decided to make this all my spray can, especially paint storage. Stuff for mostly car stuff for the bottom half, and I don't really have a car to work on anymore. The top half is drills or drill bits, saw blades, and some electrical gear. This is my second BMW that is just kind of my dumping station at the moment for stuff to do with moving house. That's a marketplace pickup that I'm hoping will go up on that wall. Moving right along, so storage for a couple of tools, a couple of corded things, small components, shop towels, rags, and other small components. First aid kit up there because accidents happen, kids. This is probably the main work area at the moment. This is all the electronic stuff and the rest of the dumping ground for little projects and things that are currently on the go. The tool wall, this is just one piece of plywood that I can get from my local hardware shop. These pieces are 12 millimeters or 1/4 of an acre. And I think that's $44, which is the cheapest plywood I can buy locally. The other plywood I can get is this gear. This is form ply, so that's film face plywood. It's got a resin front on it. It's used for making forms. That's 17 millimeters thick, and that's about $65 a sheet. Really sharp when you cut it, and really heavy, and ooh, the dust is not good. I've got a computer monitor, benchtop power supply, my second ever meter, and I'm getting better at using it. My semi-cheap soldering iron, but with a better soldering, I suppose, iron holder. I didn't like the little wire conical one, it kept falling out. Some hanging tool storage for the yellow brand. I do have tools that are other brands, more on that later. I'm sorry if I keep saying Second BMW with more tools being stored to prove that I own tools that are different brands. Box of random cables, as we call it, techno spaghetti. If you know what that is, you'll probably know how that fits in plans of things behind me. Things stuck to walls that I'm trying to organise. My miter saw station that I've moved from the other house. Air compressor, there is a framing nailer, and there's a brad nailer. There's a rolling tool stand. Most things are on casters, so even the shopvac, which is a terrible shopvac, and I do not recommend to anyone buy it. It is woeful, but I bought one because mine broke. Drill press stand, these are available. These little boxes are from Supercheap Auto. They are my new go-to thing because I can't buy Dewalt ones anywhere locally. I have to order them, usually from Amazon, and that can take anywhere from 6 weeks to a year to arrive. The table saw, which has just become a place to gather junk. Some random drawers with some stuff. Yoga mat, because yoga mat always comes in handy. Scrap storage at the moment. Some structural steel to fix up the tin worm. My mobile router table, which is atrocious. Yeah, the second half of the shed is full of junk. There is no other way to say it. Part of it is that there is a basketball hoop. There's a basketball hoop sitting under there to go up in the backyard once our concrete goes down. I don't know when that'll be. Hopefully it's been excavated, so it shouldn't be long. So there is more scrap wood storage, and I've tried to put things over there on those shelves that are screwed to the wall now for glues, adhesives. The middle rack is, I think you can see, fiberglass and resin stuff for molding and casting. Then over the other side we've got oils, associated car things, and some PPE for anyone that's interested in that sort of thing. Then I'm sure someone would probably be able to guess what these are the silhouette of. A strip sander and a bench grinder. I made the stand that I saw on YouTube, and wow, it's inconvenient beyond belief. It just takes up way too much room, and I think I might change it. I would like to make maybe a flip top cart for the router and maybe the bench grinder. I think that might be quite helpful, because I think I would use the router, not the router, the thicknesser more than that. Then over here there's some more stuff, bits and pieces of projects that are currently underway. There's the door that we came in from. There's the rust. This is quality wiring. This light switch with some is just, there's a nail down here and a nail here that have been bent up to stop this from falling out, but you can just pick this up and just look, that's great. And a fuse panel from Lord knows when, and I bet this is probably asbestos. That fuse is a spare, it says up there, spare. What I did do is took away all the fuses and replaced them with these breakers that are plug-in. So the lights are handy. There's a second set of lights over here that when I flick the switch it says bench, because I'm guessing they had a workbench over here. Yay, there's more light. I like the LED that I have mounted. This was a shelf from my son's bedroom in the new house, and I turned it upside down and screwed it to the wall, and then I put some, I think these are just conduit holders, because Philips, why can't you buy the clips for this light anymore? You can't buy the clips. This is a Philips LED strip that I got on sale at my local hardware store for $5, and it produces great light for soldering and gluing small things, but you can't buy the clips, and I've lost them. So Philips, if you're watching, please send me some clips. I've already emailed you and you've said no, there's no. Well, I don't just keep a random razor blade. I keep that there for sharpening pencils, because I very, very accidentally glued a magnet to the wall, and so now I just keep that there to keep it out of the way of the kids. There you have it. First lap around new workshop. I don't know whether anyone found that enjoyable, or they just look at me going, what a mess. It is what it is. I hope to make an updated version sometime with a much cleaner space and a much more organized space. I don't like it being a mess, because I don't like being able to, or not being able to find things, but it is the way it is. And if you can hear the wind in the background, you'll know that it's quite chilly in this part of SA. So even though it's October, I'm going to go in and have a warm drink. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, whenever that is.
Given that God is infinite, and that the universe is also infinite, would you like a toasted tea cake?